All right, what's poppin'? What's poppin'? Welcome back to another episode of Life According to Rick. How's everybody doing this week? I hope that everybody's had an amazing week thus far. Today is a very special episode because I have a guest today, and this individual I gotta give him his flowers because he's a good friend. He's like a brother, a mentor, and he's the reason why you guys are listening to me on a weekly basis, because he's kind of helped push me into doing this whole podcast thing and believing in me. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce my boy Craig. Hermano, how you feeling?
I'm good, man. It's a little dusty in here. There's a little too much flower giving there, man. It's a little misty on my side. No, I'm good, man. It's an honor to be here. I'm honored. Thank you for having me.
Of course. You know, every time we get together is just, you know, we make magic.
That we do.
Yes, sir. So, to those of you that have been listening to my podcast early on in the show, one of my early episodes was parenting over the age of 40. My brother Craig here, he is about to be starting all over again, and he is late into his 40s, so he's gonna be feeling what I've been feeling lately. So, Craig, to everybody out there, give us a quick little intro and tell us about yourself.
I enjoyed parenting so much the first time around, I decided that I had to do it again at the ripe old age of 49. So I've got an 18-year-old heading off to college in the fall, and she is going to be replaced with a newer, fresher model before she departs. Yeah, I've been around for a while. Got divorced about 15 years ago. Had to do a lot of rebuilding and putting myself back together. Met my beautiful wife about, 6 years ago, because it was around COVID time. So yeah, around 6 years ago, last month actually. So we got married, decided we wanted to start a family, and here we are. We're expanding mine, and she's doing the same.
That's awesome. I mean, it's crazy when I think about it. You know, when we met through social media. Obviously, I feel like we've kind of walked linear paths as far as like being single fathers, and you know, it's super dope because, you know, and I believe we've talked about it before, you know, where single fathers don't get that recognition, you know what I mean? So for us to connect in that way, you know, was super dope, and you know, our friendship has become like this brotherhood, and you know, it's amazing and super blessed, you know, to have you as a friend and a brother, you know what I mean? So it means a lot.
Yeah, likewise, man. It's funny. Back in the day, before I even really got it started on social media, I guess maybe 2018, 2019, I never wanted to do it because I just was like, this is stupid. Like, what's the point? But to be honest, I don't know. I've met a few people online that I've actually met face to face in the real world, and they've been like some of the dopest people I've ever met, something I never expected. But yeah, I mean, no social media, I never would have met you. And to be honest, you're the originator. I mean, you got married a couple months before I did. You had a kid 3 years before I did. So I've just been following your lead, man.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, we've been walking like this linear path. So it's crazy. Like, I'm super excited for you guys. And, you know, I can't wait to see where this next chapter leads you guys.
Yeah, it's gonna be some wild times. Like, I remember some of it from 18 years ago, but I'm sure I've forgotten much more than I remember. So it's gonna be, hopefully not a rude awakening, but we'll see.
Yeah, I hope not. I hope that everything goes smoothly for you guys. But you know, not everything goes according to plan, how we have it in our thoughts. So we'll see how that goes.
That's true. My life is definitely Exhibit A on that one.
Yeah. So how How has Hayden been adapting to, like, she's about to be a big sister, but obviously she's going off to college in the fall, so I know that she's gonna be not there full time. So
She's, we weren't really sure how she was going to handle it. We told her early on that we were going to try. And then, I guess it's different when you have kids from another relationship. You're not sure how they're going to take it. Especially Hayden was my first. So, I mean, pretty much for most of her life, it just been me and her when she was with me. And Natalia came in later in the picture. But the moment we told her that Natalia was pregnant, like she was excited. Like you could visibly see it. Like she was so happy that she was going to have a little sister. I'm kind of bummed that she might be going a little further out to college, so she might not get to spend the time. But I've met a lot of people who said that, when there was like a larger age gap, like it was just a really cool relationship between, the older sibling and the younger one. So I'm excited to see how that one plays out. But she's super happy. Like when we talk about doing the ultrasounds and I share the ultrasound pictures with her and stuff, like she's super excited and she can't wait to meet her too. So
that's dope.
Interesting to watch, but I guess I've heard the horror stories where the first kids find out other kids are coming and they get upset, but we haven't had any of that luckily. So super grateful.
No,
for that.
that's a good thing, and that's beautiful because I know from experience, with my kids being a whole lot older, so the age gap between my kids in Harlem is like 20 plus. So,
Yeah.
and you know, with them, they love their brother, and it's crazy. Like when I see them interacting together, it's like the most amazing thing. But it's kind of surreal at the same time because the age gap, and I'm like, damn, like this is for real.
Yeah, I'm already thinking ahead. We're naming the baby Isabella when she's born. When she turns 18, Hayden's going to be 36. It is just crazy to think about. I mean, she's 18 now, which is crazy to think about, but to think that, in 18 years, she's going to be 36. And I know that's going to go by in the blink of an eye, but it's just, yeah, time never slows down anymore as we get older, man. Just keeps going faster and faster somehow.
Time is a thief, boy. I'm telling you, like it when you really think about it, and it's even crazier for me now because now I have the granddaughter, and
That's right.
her in Harlem, they're like 3 years difference. So when Harlem graduates high school, I think the baby will be like going into high school. So like just thinking about that, I'm like, yo, that is bugged out.
Yeah. So what does that make you? So you have a grandkid from your son. What does that make Harlem?
He's an uncle.
That's crazy. An uncle that's 3 years older. I feel like there's sitcoms and movies made about that kind of stuff.
No, but let me make it even more funnier for you because so my kids are older than my younger brother and sister in DR. And
My gosh. Wow.
yeah, like my youngest sister, I think she just turned like 21. So that would make Kiana at least 3 years older than her.
That's nuts, man. I still can't get over the fact that you're a grandfather. That's still crazy to me. I can't
Dude,
imagine.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around that one. I mean, it was bound to happen. Like, I mean, like I think
Oh, yeah,
about it,
of
like
course.
my oldest son is 27, right? So it's like I feel like that's a good age. Like now, had he would have had a kid when he was like 21 or 20, like,
Yeah.
I had my kids at a very young age. So, we always as parents don't want our kids to kind of walk that same line. You want them to kind of do better than what we did in our times. I feel like 27 is a good age for him to have a kid. So it's just the fact that I had them so young that now it's like, well, damn, Rick, you a grandpappy.
I think it's more, I mean, it's not so much that as much as the fact that Harlem's only like 3. So that's like, here you have a 3-year-old, now you have a grandkid too. It's just, I think the thing that throws me off is the age there. Because I know that you had the kids when you were younger, but just thinking like, the fact that Harlem's going to have a nephew that's 3 years younger than him, that's hilarious to me.
Yeah, no, yeah. And it's so funny because we've gone to visit my son to go see the baby and stuff, and like Harlem loves her. Like he loves her so much, and he's like, "That's my niece."
That's even wilder, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm like, dude, I'm like, you're only 3 years old and you're a Theo. So the baby's gonna be here in a couple months, right?
Yeah, due date is May 24th, so around then, around Memorial Day, I guess.
Wow. So how have you and Natalia been like preparing, like mentally, like just overall, like how have you guys been, preparing for this moment?
It's it's contrasting styles, if I have to say. You know how Natalia is. She's a planner. She likes to be in control and in charge of as much as possible. So for her, it's been a lot of reading a bunch of books, looking at a bunch of YouTube videos, listening to podcasts, asking for advice from other parents, like pretty much trying to have every angle covered. Whereas me, I mean, granted it was 18 years ago, I do have some experience. So I'm more or less preparing like for the fact that I can't really control anything when it comes to a baby because you have no idea. I'm just kind of trying to get like emotionally there. Like, okay, you're going to be lacking on some sleep. It's going to be tough for the first few months. And even though she knows that that's coming, I don't think she really appreciates how difficult that's going to be. But I mean, as a parent, that's one thing you never forget was how tough those first few months are, just because when you haven't had enough sleep, everything becomes difficult. Just
Oh no.
making decisions, cooking, cleaning, even just getting out of the house is going to be difficult because you're going to be tired, exhausted, and miserable. But we've also done maternity classes and stuff like that to get ready. We have some more of those coming up. I think it's next Wednesday. We're going to tour, or we're going to a class at Pediatric Doctor. We're actually going to sign her up with the same one Hayden had because they were really good. So yeah, we did a newborn class a couple Saturdays ago, and then we're doing like a more comprehensive newborn class. It's supposed to cover, I think, the end of pregnancy up through maybe the first 6-7 months of birth or after the birth. So, they'll talk about like, changing diapers and, what certain things mean and, burping and getting outside of the house and stuff like that. So yeah, I think we've got pretty much every angle covered, but yeah, we're definitely on different ends of the spectrum in terms of preparation.
I hope they teach swaddling because that's one thing. When Harlem was born, the nurse, she was like, "Oh, swaddling is like the most important thing," and I said, "Bet." And so she taught me, and then it was like I had mastered the swaddling game. I was like, I had it on lock. So like I would swaddle him, and he would be chilling in that blanket, and my wife she didn't really like pay attention because she had just given birth, so she wasn't into like all of that stuff. So I was like, nah, I'll take care of it. So whenever after we had gotten home with him, I was the swaddling guy. Like I would I would wrap him up like a burrito.
I remember that. I'll never forget the swaddling. That is awesome. I know they'll definitely go over that in the classes, but I think I might remember how to do that because it was one of the things that it was just fun to do, just to wrap the baby up.
No, but you know what's crazy? So like at one point, I remember she had went like on Amazon and she found like a swaddler, but it's one like it's kind of Velcro. So you would slide them in, and the thing would just wrap around him, and it was like a Velcro thing, and it was like super easy. And I think it was like weighted, so that way he could feel like kind of snugged in there. So I mean that would be something to look into, depending on how the baby does with the swaddling.
Man, it was weighted. They have like, dude, modern technology is amazing.
Listen, when I tell you, when it came to Harlem and doing the registry, like when my wife was just showing me all the things that was available, I was like, when did this happen? Because like the stuff that's out now, I mean, obviously times evolve and change, but like to when you're actually in it and you're living it, like it's just like super surreal. Like I'm like, what is happening?
I think when we were doing that for our baby shower, I remember when Hayden was a baby, we just had it was almost like a walkie-talkie monitor. You know, it was like a speaker in her room with a mic, and that was it. But now it's like, dude, if you don't have a camera, what are you doing? Like you're failing. I'm just like, well, they were like way more expensive like 18 years ago. It wasn't common for everybody to have that, but now it's like there's an app for everything, and it's pretty crazy. I mean, I feel like it's going to make things much easier. But it's, yeah, just even in 18 years, I mean, it doesn't seem like that big of a gap, but technology's jumped huge since then.
No, for sure. Like even now, like with Harlem, in his room, we have the little it's like a 360 camera, bro. So like we take the monitor downstairs, like whenever he decides that he wants to come up to his room. And we're like, all right, go to your room. I'll grab the monitor. I'll bring it downstairs. And mind you, it's like a Motorola, so the thing has night vision. Like, it's crazy. I'm looking at this thing like, what is this?
That sounds like a horror movie, man. You're just looking at the monitor and you seeing the green glowing eyes in the background. You're like, wait a minute, is everything all right up there?
Yo, yeah, super crazy, right?
Yeah.
Oh man. So so you guys got the baby shower coming up.
Yep. It's what's it, April 2nd? Yeah, it's gonna be in 16 days.
That's wild.
Yeah, Natalia's sister comes, I think April 13th, and then her mom and friends are coming the 17th. So yeah, I think from the 13th through probably the 25th or 26th, there's going to be family and friends here. So it's going to be, I'm actually looking forward to it. I love when her family comes around. I love spending time with them. I wish I could spend more, but they don't live in the country, so it's not as easy. But yeah, I love her family and friends. I'm really looking forward to it.
No, you know how us Dominicans get down. We
Yes. And I certainly appreciate it for sure.
I definitely miss the motherland for sure.
Yeah, me too. I wish, yeah, I can't wait to take Isabella for the first time. We're looking forward to that.
That's gonna be fire. I know.
Yeah.
We're hoping at some point to make a trip and take Harlem down there, so he can get to see the motherland for himself.
Yeah, he's going to love it for sure.
Yeah. So, Spanish. Have you guys talked about if Spanish is going to be Bella's first language, or what have you guys talked about?
We definitely wanted to be bilingual. I feel like it's going to be harder to have Spanish be her first language just because Natalia is really going to be the only one here that can teach her that. I mean, sure, there's, other Spanish speakers around, but it's not like when you have a whole family or everybody speaks fluently. But yeah, we definitely wanted to be bilingual. And I'm pretty sure, I mean, I don't even know how it works. You talk to the kid in Spanish and English. Does that confuse things, or do they pick up both? I don't
So,
even know.
from my experience, because my kids, I call them Yo no sabo kids because they swear they can speak Spanish, but their
Yeah.
Spanish is the most ugliest Spanish that you can ever hear, right? But they're learning because obviously they've taken amongst themselves to like want to learn Spanish. I'm like, so now that y'all older, when I was trying to teach y'all wasn't hearing it.
Mm-hmm.
But with Harlem, obviously, I feel like with me, Spanish was my first language because I grew up with my grandmother. So being around her full time, and so Spanish was just like it just fluently came, being around my grandmother and stuff like that. And then once I got to school, I mean, even watching cartoons, I was still pick up on the English, and just my parents, are both bilingual, so we would speak both languages, but Spanish was primary when I was with my grandmother, so it made it easier for me at such a young age to learn the language. And then obviously when she gets to school, she's gonna learn English. But with Harlem, like I was saying, I speak to him in Spanish. I mean, he knows English, that's his first language, but I'm trying to get him early on so that way, he knows, and as he gets older, teach him more and get more deeper into it so that way he can kind of get fluent with the language.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that I can kind of piggyback off of Isabella learning. Because, I mean, I know like a little bit, and I think I understand a lot more than I can actually speak it. So I'm kind of
Right.
hoping that, both of us can kind of pick it up together. I think that'll be fun. But then I think it'll just, to me, it's always just the idea of, having the family out, we're all just speaking Spanish. Just sounds cool to me.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, you'll get it, man. I mean, I
Yeah.
feel like you've picked up a lot of it.
Yeah, just by being around it. I think, I guess it's easier to pick it up if you're immersed in it. So if there's a way we can do that, even if it's, man, just as, watching TV in Spanish with the English subtitles and stuff like that. But I mean, yeah, if we lived in like a Spanish speaking country, it would, come like second nature. It would be super easy, but it's just harder to do that out here depending on where you live.
Dude, in my opinion, you're certified Dominican, okay?
I'll take it. I've been vetted. You hear that? I've got the stamp.
You got the stamp for sure. I mean, you've been to DR more times than I can count, bro.
And it's my favorite place in the world, honestly. And granted, I haven't been to a billion places, but I have traveled a lot. My dad being in the army, my mom being from, England. So yeah, I don't know. One day we're going to end up living there, maybe in retirement, maybe slightly before that, but I think we're going to be there for sure. I know
that's what
Natalia's all about it too, so.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I tell my wife all the time, like, yo, I want to leave to DR, man. I want to just be out there on the beach and just enjoying life.
That sounds like perfection to me, man. I need to be closer to bodies of water. I don't do good in cold weather, especially after this winter really hit home. That just not for me anymore. I need to move further south, I think.
Oh no, for sure. Today it was like it's in the mid 30s, windy. Like, it's disgusting outside. I'm like, I don't even want to be here right now.
Yeah, it's April. It's too late for that, man.
Yeah, no,
late.
no, and the irony in it is that yesterday it got up to like 75, and then I had to go into work. So when I got to work, it was like it was nice outside, and then I come and I leave work and it's freezing outside and it's windy and it's morbid and gloomy, and I'm like, what just happened?
That kind of happened here today too. I went out earlier in shorts and a hoodie because I was taking my car in for service, and my dad followed me and picked me up. But by the time I got home after dropping the car off, took the dogs out, and I was like, man, this is too chilly out here, and I had to put sweats on. And I was like, dude, what is this? It was like 80 2 days ago, Monday and Tuesday, so it's crazy.
Yeah, you guys are in the mid-Atlantic, so you guys get that little bit of that warmth, but not fully compared to us out here. I feel like I live in a Stephen King movie. Like, the setting is just set first. I'm honestly convinced that I'm part of like some Stephen King universe and I don't know about it. And it's kind of like the Truman Show, where like people are watching me and they're like, this kid lives in this nastiness, and it's like a Stephen King series somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, he's from up there, isn't he? New England,
Yeah,
in that area. Yeah,
he's from Maine.
Oh, that's right, Maine. So yeah, dude, you're right in like the perfect like triangulation of the area of where he's from.
Yeah,
Area down the street.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, it's super crazy. So what else is going on, brother?
I mean, that's pretty much the breadth of things right now. Just getting ready for this baby to come. I know you saw in the background we had a bunch of boxes stacked up. Those are all the gifts that have come from the baby shower so far. I think lease runs out in November. We're going to be looking to move into a bigger place just because we're going to need more space. You've been here. It's kind of tight for, just, the two of us. So having a teenager, she's going to go off to college and having the baby, we just need way more space.
Oh, no, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. Outside of that, just kind of enjoying watching my wife go through the different stages of pregnancy. Luckily, none have been too bad. She struggled a little bit at first with nausea and sleeplessness, but they seem to have gotten better. So it's been good to, I guess, just share that with her. My first wife and I got divorced when my daughter was 1.5 years. So I think one of the things that I'm looking forward to the most is actually doing it with a partner for a change and actually having like a legit family.
Right.
And I've talked with Natalia a lot too. Just, I guess it's kind of off topic for this, but one thing I've always wanted was like a family, like a bigger family, because I'm an only child. It was just me and my mom and my dad. Didn't see much of my mom's family because they lived across the ocean in the UK.
Right.
And my dad's family doesn't get along that well, so we didn't see them a whole lot. But he's got, I think, 4 brothers and a sister. So I've always just wanted a bigger family. And it just kind of seems like, even though at the age of 49, you kind of think maybe I get too old, this isn't going to happen. But here I am getting the chance at it. It just, I guess, kind of goes to show that, life will keep giving you second chances as long as you don't quit, as long as you keep moving. Granted, those second chances might not look as perfect as you might have imagined them looking. Like, first try is going to be perfect and it's going to be great. Maybe something's better. There's something better for you out there. I feel like that's what's happened to me. So it's just been super exciting and really grounding to be like, this is what I've always wanted and it's happening. I can't really put it into words. It still amazes me every day. You're reminded of how much of a miracle, your wife having a baby is, just the whole creation of a baby and, the whole, maternity process and going through all that. It's a miracle. It's special. And yeah, I really, really enjoyed it, man. I really have.
Yo, kudos to the ladies, man, because let me tell you, to carry a child for 9 months is like super wild. And like, I remember with Julie's pregnancy with Harlem, like those 9 months, like it's kind of like how you said earlier, like it goes by quick in retrospect when you look back at it, but when you're in it, like the 9 months feels like slow motion. And I remember for her just having to, we would have to go to Boston because she was high risk, and, there was certain, complications, and it was just kind of like that fear of like, damn, like, is everything going to be okay? And, we had been trying before and things weren't happening. So like when she actually got pregnant, we were kind of like, okay, like, is this it? Like, and the first thing I did was buy her like that body pillow, like, and that was her best friend for like those 9 months. And even more so as she got closer to like her full term, you know what I mean? Because she was just very uncomfortable towards the end.
Yeah, you know what? I'll tell you. I mean, Natalia and I were trying for a little while too before she got pregnant. And, I think a lot of that does have to do, just being older. But I don't think it helps that doctors talk about things like high risk pregnancy or a geriatric pregnancy just because the woman's older, because I think that puts like a certain level of fear, and it makes you, like you said, you're like, oh my God, is everything going to be okay? I mean, I've even noticed myself kind of going into each appointment and they listen. And I'm super attentive at first, like, okay, can we hear the heartbeat? Is everything all right? And then you do the ultrasounds and you're like, okay, I've got to make sure everything looks good in the picture and everything's okay. But I mean, dude, tons of women are having babies in their 40s now. Like, it's not uncommon anymore. A lot of women, just decide to wait later in life, or maybe that's just the way life works out. But it's almost like, I mean, I get where doctors are coming from. They're looking at the averages and the numbers, but it's almost like fear mongering, because you shouldn't have to go and stress out at a moment that should be so happy for you. Like, oh my God, I get to see my baby's face on the ultrasound today. But now you're like, okay, did they have 2 eyes? Is the nose okay? Can I see all the fingers if I can see fingers? How about the leg? Does the leg look okay? Like, you shouldn't have to be like that for what should be such a happy moment. And it definitely doesn't help. So they should stop that. That's what I'm getting at.
No, for sure. Like, it definitely makes you like on high alert. And, it makes it, like you said, it takes away the joy of, you enjoying the pregnancy and being excited for, bringing a child into the world. So yeah, I kind of agree with you. I mean, I get it, certain levels of, of doctors, from a medical standpoint, right? But I mean, it's kind of just like surgery when they tell you like, oh, these are the risks, we're about to put you under, like, and you're like, well, damn, like, you really about to put this mask on my face and then I gotta, I don't know if I'm gonna wake up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's super crazy.
There's been tons of movies about that too. People being put out and then but they're still like conscious, man. So yeah, you can't joke about that as a doctor. That ain't right.
Oh no, yeah,
I'm
for
gonna put you
sure.
under, but hey, this might happen to you. Like, no. I'm good.
Right, right, right. Oh man. Hey brother, it's been amazing having you on Life According to Rick. You're my official first guest, and I always tell you, whenever you're ready to work, man, we can get together. We still have our little side project that we've been talking about for a while.
Yeah, you know me, man. I'm always down, but like I said before we hopped on, like legit, man, I'm super proud of you for doing this. Like I know you've been talking about it for a while, and I mean, just coming out of the gate, you've been so consistent and coming out every week, man. Like, yo, you're doing it. Like, I'm super proud and super happy for you, and I'm just excited to see where this goes. And seriously, it is an honor to be invited on here to be your first guest for sure. Just good to be happy to be a part of it, man.
I appreciate it, bro. Thank you. I mean, listen, like I said, I had to give you your flowers because, we have been talking for a while. And, if it wasn't for you, like, giving me those words of encouragement and, and me seeing you do your own thing, it kind of gave me that motivation and that push to, like, hey, I could do this, and especially being on your show, Single Dad Reboot, it kind of like it felt good. I was like, I can actually do this.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do just for everybody. I mean, that's what Single Dad Reboot was all about. It was just like, whatever has or hasn't happened before, it doesn't matter anymore. If there's stuff you want to do now, just go do it. Nothing's holding you back. And anything you say that is holding you back is just an excuse. So just to motivate people and get them out there to do whatever they want to do, man. It's all possible.
Oh no, yeah, for sure. And I mean, that's what I'm trying to do over here. Just people that have walked, those linear paths just like we have, and kind of like opening those avenues and paving the way to kind of make things easier for them, and people that cannot be vocal about certain things, kind of being that voice, and you know hoping that it resonates with them and that they'll be like, hey, yeah, I could do this.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes if you can't find the example you're looking for, you have to become it, right? So, men, you know how it is being a man, a single dad. You want to talk about what you're going through. Like, you're supposed to keep that to yourself, but it's not healthy. So, if that means we have to come out and talk about it, then guess what? People are going to hear it and it's going to inspire them to do the same. And then next thing you know, you've got a community of like minded folks all going for the same thing. I mean, that's beautiful.
Of course. No, it is. That's super dope. So to those listening, why don't you tell them where they can find you on social media and stuff?
Oh, man. I am at Single Dad Reboot, one word, everywhere. Except for Substack. Substack, I go with my government name, which I'm not going to say here because nobody's going to be able to pronounce it. But my publication name is Chapter 2 on Substack. So, and I'm actually, I think we've talked about it a little bit, but I think I'm going to get away from the single dad reboot era and switch to something else. Like I feel, I don't know, that chapter's done. It's time to move on and do something else. I mean, life is heading up, changing in a different direction. I'm no longer single dad anymore, so it just feels weird to be considered or called a single dad at this point. So have to figure out something else that'll come, but for now, Single Dad Reboot everywhere. When I rebrand, it'll just be all over Single Dad Reboot stuff anyway, so follow along.
Yeah, revamping is always good, revamping the brand. I think when I first started like doing Life According to Rick, I had Dad Life According to Rick.
Yeah, Natalia and I were talking about that the other day because we were talking about when you and I met, and I was like, yeah, he was Dad Life According to Rick. He talked about similar stuff as me, and then when I saw the Dominican flag, I was like, gotta follow this guy and reach out. Come on. I'm not gonna follow the Dominican. Come on.
Yes, sir. I know. And then, obviously it became Life According to Rick because now we're just talking about all areas of life, so
Yeah.
That's just how it's been. But hermano, thank you. I appreciate you. To those of you listening, thank you for coming and listening for another week. I hope that everybody has a great week, and we'll catch up next time.